What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Max Freedom. Today's video is a self-awareness activity. If you just want the questions and you want to take those and go perform the activity, that's all fine and dandy. I actually made a short video explaining this entire video in 30 seconds, so you can go find that on my channel. It's called Self-Awareness Activity. It's very simple. This video is going to go more into depth about why we're asking these questions, how these questions can help us, and different ways of going about them. So basically the activity is going to be 3 questions. You're going to write these on a piece of paper, in your laptop, in a Word doc, and basically we just want to sit with these questions, let our creative faculties, our imagination, our intuition guide us in the direction that we want to go. So disclaimer note is that I'm not an expert. I'm not self-aware. These are actually activities that I'm using personally to better myself and to discover who I am. I've been on this path towards self-development, self-discovery over the past couple of years. The past year being the most excessive, most things that I've actually done to improve myself. And I think it's a long journey, so we shouldn't get frustrated if these questions confuse us and they make us feel like we're really lost. These questions are supposed to help us get on a path towards somewhere that we actually can see ourselves being and see ourselves enjoying ourselves. So the first question is, what do I value? Now, you can just write I value blank and fill those in. The thing about values is that they basically control our behaviors. Whether we realize it or not, you may have heard of the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Basically, the conscious mind is what we're hearing, feeling, sensing right now. And the subconscious mind is everything that's unconscious, that you're not even aware of, that's going on, how your body is running and doing all these things. And a big part of the subconscious mind is behavior. The subconscious mind allows us to behave in ways all throughout the day, to perform those tasks and the way we think, those repeating thoughts. And so what drives that behavior is actually our value system. And so if we can bring awareness to these subconscious values that are running our life, if we can put those on a piece of paper and figure out which ones are more important than the others, which ones do I want health to be above school? Is health more important than school? Figure all that stuff out, and your life becomes a lot more clear, and how you behave can actually start to align with what you want for yourself. So the second question we're going to ask is, what do I want? Now, a couple months back, I made a video where I was talking about Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights, and I created this self-awareness activity. So if you like this video, you might want to go check that one out. I'll either link it in the description or above somewhere. But in that video, one of the questions was, what is your hill? And I think this is very similar to this question, what do I want? See, what your hill is, it's like the mountain you're climbing. What do you want for your life? Where are you headed? What is that hill that you're climbing? See, if you don't have that direction to getting to that hill, then where are you going to go? See, it's hard it's hard to get to where we want to be when we don't know what we want. Another way of looking at it is this example of a ship. So there's 2 ships on an island, okay? And they want to leave. The one ship, the crew gets on, the captain gets on, he's steering the ship, and they head off to Sanibel Island. And they get to Sanibel Island because they decided they were going to get there, and they had the crew and the environment right to get there. There's another ship on that island, and this one they decide that no one's going to get on the ship. We're just going to push it. We're just going to push it off into the ocean, and hopefully it will find its way to wherever it wants to go. So they don't even decide where they want to go. They just push it. Now, we all know that ship's not going anywhere. And this is how we feel when we don't have a goal, when we don't have a direction where we're going. We feel like we're just floating out at sea, lost, and not knowing what to do. The third question, it goes along with this wanting, because it's one thing to want, but it's another thing to behave. And that's why we ask, what am I doing now that I don't want to be doing? So you realize what you want, who you want to become, and then you're thinking, okay, well, what am I doing that's not in line with that? So there's two ways of looking at this question. You can look at it like the little things, the little day-to-day activities. When you say yes to somebody to go do something and you really didn't want to do that. Or, maybe you have a little tiny bad habit and you don't want to do that anymore. Or you forget to brush your teeth and you actually want to brush your teeth. And those little things that don't align with who you want to be, those are the things we're talking about. But another way is those big things, like those relationships that we don't want to be in anymore, the jobs that we want to quit, the school that we want to drop out of, the really bad habits. So we got to be careful here, because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves as soon as we're like, I don't want to be doing this, I don't want to be doing this. We can't expect it to change overnight. Now, I'll give you an example, because these all kind of relate, your values, your wants, and then this question. A couple years ago, I started a bad habit of vaping. And basically, I started lifting, I started working out, taking care of my body, and yet I was still vaping. Now, this was okay, but once I realized that I had a value of health and that I wanted to be a healthy person, it wasn't okay anymore. It was okay before because I had accepted it, because that was who I was. But then I realized I don't want to be this anymore. And so vaping wasn't in line with that identity that I was creating for myself, so I had to kick it. And I didn't do it in a split second. I had to develop a plan, and I figured out how I was going to do it, and I went after it. Now, some people could quit like that, and it's possible, but for these bigger things, it might make more sense to gain some clarity, develop a plan of action, and then go about it. Doing this activity, all these three questions, it definitely opens you up to, just some possibilities. Right now, if you're feeling like you don't have a clear sense of direction, and you don't have an idea of where you're going, first of all, realize that most people don't. And personally, I've spent a lot of time with these kind of questions, and I still am not 100% clear on where I want to go. I don't think anybody really ever gets to that point. Maybe they do. But we have to realize that it takes time. And sitting with these questions, really letting our minds run wild with them, is the best thing that we can do. Thinking is a lost art. Spending time with your own thoughts instead of constantly absorbing someone else's is a really powerful tool to use, especially when we're talking about self-discovery, self-awareness. So let me know if you enjoy this activity, what you get out of it, if it helps you in any way, and remember to value your health.